At this time, there are going to be a lot of doom loops going through and reiterating themselves through the media and across content creators, etc. You know, there's been a lot of developments over the last couple of days of things that are happening around the world. And as far as, you know, me being an American, I have to look at what's going on in America first, because I think that we ought to put America first if we live in America. And I think if you're in whatever country you're in, you should put your own country first. But for those that are not aware, the port strike along the East Coast has officially commenced as of this morning, and that is going to lead to supply chain interactions and disruptions as well, specifically in regard to a variety of different commodities. But how incredibly disadvantageous is it going to be to all of the people on the East Coast? Probably pretty disadvantageous. But to all the people on the West Coast, I'm not sure how much it's going to affect the people. But we as godly people must remain the salt of the earth in this time. We must remain the light on the hill that Jesus talks about, because it's going to be through us, because we hold the light of Christ. We are not Christ, but we hold the light of Christ and we bear his light, that we're going to be able to lead with dignity, with integrity, and by example and courage through this time, because we value courage more than anything else. As godly people, we value courage, and we value empathy, we value compassion, we value understanding. What we don't value is killing, seeking to destroy, and thievery, really. And we don't tolerate thieves, we don't tolerate murderers, we don't tolerate people that are trying to manipulate. We don't tolerate these things. And from what I can tell, most of everything that's going on is illegitimate as far as I can tell. As far as my reasoning goes, most of these things that are happening are not necessarily going to be anything that is, it doesn't need to be happening. And that's why I think it's illegitimate of the leadership, the leadership that we have in a variety of different countries and nations. But specifically here in the US, it's not legitimate. These people have no clue, or they just don't even care. Like, I think what people misunderstand is that a lot of what's going on, the media, our universities, the education system, the government, all of these things are fairly functional. They just are not functioning for your best interest. They're not functioning for the sake of your well-being. What they are really wanting to do is to take control over your life and manipulate you into ideological subversion. And so it's best at this time to be prepared and not scared. So I'm not encouraging you guys to go panic buy or panic or doomsday buy or anything like that, you know, oh, screw it, you know. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to be very vigilant at this time. Make sure that you're not adhering to or participating in anything that is going to be extra at this time. Now, what do I mean by that? If you are participating in any kind of smoking or drinking or alcohol consumption or anything of the sort, anything that is going to be not so good for your body, now's the time to be more so than ever nutritious, working out, because what you need right now is your body to be working and to be active and to really participate in the life that you're about to live, because the shitstorm is commencing. Okay, the great shitstorm of our time is commencing, and we are prepared, but we're not scared. Okay, this is what's going to be really important for all of us to understand at this time, is that any time that you let fear take over, you've allowed the devil to intervene. Now, look at what's going on in our leadership specifically. Speaking of the devil and satanic energy as a whole. Now, with all the port stuff going on, what I understand is before last night happened, the people that the longshoremen who are participating in the strike, the union that's on strike, what they are asking for is a 77% increase. I thought it was 70%. Now, from my research from just a couple days ago, I've understood now that I've been corrected to 77% increase of wages. There have been speculations that they're already making about $80,000 a year across the board. However, the work conditions are very dangerous. People die on this job. There are going to be people that might not come home to their families, okay? And there are going to be families that lose people from this kind of job. Meanwhile, the people that are working in this industry, and the people that they're working for, the companies that these people are trying to make a contract with, the shipping companies, these people are making now billions of dollars, according to the president of the Longshoremen Association. And what he is trying to do as president, apparently, this Harold Daggett guy, what he's trying to initiate is a 77% increase, because he thinks that without them, the whole companies wouldn't have these billions of dollars that they do now. And so what he's saying is that he wants himself and his team to be participating in that fair share, that fair deal. Now, me personally, I think it's kind of convenient that the contract ended right as the elections are about to happen here in the United States. Now, from my understanding, Mr. Harold Daggett here, he actually endorsed Biden in 2020, but also in his most recent video that he put out, he was basically saying that, you know, what the heck, Biden, I endorse you. What are we doing now? Because Biden has chosen not to participate in these negotiations, where that's usually what it's supposed to be. The president or the vice president is supposed to intervene in these kinds of situations. You're seeing the kind of leadership on full display that's been in power for the last 4 years. I mean, we actually don't even know who's really running the country, because it's obviously not Biden. At least here in America, it's not the case, right? We have no clue who's really running the country. And it's really astounding to see people that still think that Joe Biden is like competent enough to even be around. Like, it's like, dude, this guy is literally like a walking corpse. I really don't understand. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying, like, it's just not a good look, okay? It's not a good look for anybody. And again, I'm choosing not to vote this year because I don't think that it's reasonable for us to vote for people that locked us in our homes. Because, like, remember what happened in 2020, guys? Like, people lost their jobs. 60% of businesses small businesses, that is, are permanently closed because of that. They had to all start over. Meanwhile, the big corporations were just fine and open. Like, they were open. In fact, I was just talking to somebody that I was planning to do business with, a local company that is involved with woodworking and such. And they were telling me that during COVID, because they were able to bypass certain things, they were able to grow their company enough to buy other companies out around the state here, because they had to close down, but because of the certain kinds of regulations that they had, they didn't have to close down. So COVID was great for these people, but for everybody else that had to participate in these certain kinds of regulations, business completely plummeted. So people are still having the effects of COVID, okay, to this day. Like, let's remember that, okay? Let's recall that. And so now, and not even to mention, in order to have your job in some places, you had to get the, okay? For all the viewers, you'll understand what I'm saying. So this is like the kind of leadership and the positioning that they've placed us in. These people are not leaders. They're controllers, they're manipulators, they're connivers, and they are exploiters of good, hardworking people that are actually trying to make a living in this life. You know, I'm making a living now and doing my own thing, enough to, at least enough to stabilize for this moment. Like, and it's not easy, okay? And I know that it may seem like there's a lot of easy things that go into making YouTube videos or doing what I do on the side. And again, it's not like I'm not making an extraordinary amount of money. In fact, I still would like to have extra income coming in, and I would still like to see that. And I'd still want to develop my skills in other areas. But right now I'm stabilized. I'm stabilized. And I'm prepared. I have the resources available. I have canned goods. I have other kinds of resources. I'm stocked up. I'm ready to go, but I'm not going overboard. I'm not panic buying. I'm not buying out of fear. I'm not giving into the spirit of fear. I have faith over fear. And I know without a doubt that there are so many people like myself that are just trying to make it in this life. Like, I'm one of you guys. I'm just trying to be a man of the people here, trying to speak the truth, because it doesn't seem like a lot of people want to. It doesn't seem like a lot of people want to live in the truth. Some people are willing to speak the truth, but they're not willing to live in it. And I think that's the difference between me and a lot of other people. And it's probably the difference between you and a lot of other people. If you're watching the video up to this point, you're probably somebody that understands. You're probably definitely somebody that really understands the precipitous moment that we are in, I would say, the voluptuousness of our leadership, and the overall contingencies in which we are being propelled to have to take matters into our own hands. Because I see this whole thing as illegitimate. It doesn't seem like a coincidence to me that all this is happening right now. And this is not to mention, I wanted to mention this earlier, but I was going off for a minute there because I was pretty fired up for a second. Bear with me. It's not necessarily a rant, but it's more like a righteous indignation. This is not even to mention that Iran just attacked Israel last night, or later, or earlier today, whatever it was. I just saw the headlines a couple hours ago or so, and like, this is all what's going on in the world, guys. Like, I really don't know what else there is to see for people to not wake up. I really don't know what else it's going to take for people to wake up to the fact that these people that are in leadership positions across the world are crooks. And they don't care about you. They don't care. They would rather stuff your mind with ideologies that make you feel good for a moment, just to deceive you long enough and put you in spiritual debt long enough before you realize there's no going back. There's no going back. You're too far into spiritual debt, and that's what they want you to be in. They want you to be in spiritual debt. They want you to be in physical debt too. I mean, this just goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, what's going on. We have open borders in the United States. We now have closed ports. And we might, like, this is just not good. This is just not good all around. And the only thing that we can do is to really understand our situation and move accordingly, and hope for the best as we strategically make the decisions to improve the probability of endurance and faithfulness and justice and mercy down the line. I'm not telling you to lose hope, but I'm also not saying that you should rely on hope. It's great to hope for the best, and again, I want to encourage us all to hope for the best. But what's not appropriate at this time is to maneuver toward hope more so than taking action. Okay, and this is something that's come up on my channel quite a bit, and this is something that I've critiqued a lot of Christians about. They think that they can just do nothing. They can tolerate whatever. just because, well, God's going to take care of it. It's like, well, God's going to take care of it if you can help yourself take care of you. Why should God try to save you if you're not even trying to save yourself? Hello? Like, who am I talking to here? You guys got to understand that, at least, and y'all know who I'm talking to. If you're getting kind of upset at this right now, then you're the person I'm talking to. And it's not to try to be rude, it's just to point out the truth. Because everybody else that completely understands what I'm saying right now, they're nodding their head. They're going, yep, yep, yep. They get it. But some people are not going to get this message, and that's okay. But to take action and to do righteous works is going to be more acceptable than any kind of just hoping for the best. Okay? There's a verse in the Bible that says something along the lines of, to do justice is better than sacrifice to the Lord, something along those lines. And that's exactly what we need to do at this point. It's not necessarily like, sometimes we might need to sacrifice a little bit of our lifestyle at this moment. We might need to sacrifice that. That's okay. That's okay. Because happy is the man that can live off of a little. And poor is the man that has a lot, but has no fulfillment. So, with all that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. Again, I want to thank everybody that has been watching my videos here on YouTube, all of the OGs, and everybody that has been moving also over to X and Rumble over the past few days to a week. And if you're interested in joining a godly community, check out the free Discord channel below. Or if you want to do the paid community, you can also check out the Regal Change Academy in the description box below, where we are helping people grow closer to God, helping people strengthen healthy relationships, and helping people build their brand and business, and helping people achieve their fitness goals. And with all that being said, peace until next time.